Hey everyone, this is Eric from Code and Console Gaming, giving you a guide on the Hunter missions for Sonic Adventure to Battle. The Hunter missions are specifically the Knuckles and Rouge levels. We're going to focus on the first and fourth missions since these are RNG based. If you need a guide for the other missions, check out my channel, I've got the guides for them. These are all preset and they're pretty easy and straightforward. When it comes to the first and fourth mission, they're basically the same level. The differences between them are the timer in the fourth mission, as well as the minimum score required for A rank. If you're looking for the minimum score required, they'll be posted in the description for each level. When it comes to these missions, the 3 emeralds, keys, or chaos emeralds will always spawn randomly in one of the 100 preset locations. If you're using an emulator and you just want to get an A rank on this, what I would suggest is starting the level, and right when the level starts, save your state. That's whenever the emeralds or whatever you're looking for at the time picks its location. So then you could go through the world, take all the time you want, and once you find them, reload the save state, and then go through the level and it'll be in the exact same location. Now, when going through the level, there are a couple things to consider. Number one mainly is the time. Obviously, the quicker you do it, the higher your score will be from the time bonus at the end. The second thing to consider is the item bonus. So whenever you collect a key or emerald, you'll get bonus points depending on a couple factors. So whenever you're going through a level, you'll notice that there's these hint boxes placed around all of them. Sure, they help you find where the emerald is, but it's at a cost. So whenever you collect an emerald, you'll get 500 points just for finding the emerald, and then a calculation of bonus points depending on what you did and how long it took you to find that. Here's a score table to help me explain to you how this is broken down. So if you end up getting the emerald without any hints within the first minute, you'll always get perfect whenever you collect it. If you end up taking under a minute, but you use one hint, it'll go down by 1. So instead of getting 2,000 points whenever you collect it as a bonus, you'll now get 1,500 instead. When you use the second hint box, it gets progressively worse. From that point, it drops down to 600 points when you get the emerald, and then when you use a third hint box, it drops all the way down to 400 points. If you end up using the hint boxes and find a different emerald, key, or chaos emerald before the one that you're after, don't grab it. I ended up finding the third emerald before the first one, and as you can see here in this footage, it gave me 400 points on both the third and the first one. Whereas if I grabbed the first one and then went back and got the third one, I would have got 2,000 points for getting that in under the minute. Now going back to the time bonus on that table, depending on how long it took you. So there's a couple different time windows here. If you end up taking less than a minute to get an emerald, and every emerald in between it, you'll get 2,000 points. If you end up taking from 1 to 5 minutes, when you collect your next emerald, it'll be worth 1,000 points now. And then finally, anything over 5 minutes is now worth 200 points. I didn't bother to check anything after that. I thought it felt irrelevant. You'd probably restart the level before you even got to that point. The last note about the table is now, whenever you use a hint and you end up taking a little bit longer, it follows the same pattern. So if you end up taking one hint and you take over a minute, it'll cut down your score the same amount of times in the table. Now, the third thing to consider whenever you're going for this are all the enemies around. Whenever you go past them, just try and kill them. It's easy, free points. Whenever you find the gold beetle anywhere within the level, go after it, just kill it if you're nearby. It's an easy extra 1,000 points and it adds up in the long run. Besides those 3 things, a little bit of luck is going to be necessary on this. There's been points where it's like I've been running around and the last emerald, chaos emerald, or key takes me more than 5 minutes to find. If you end up finding the first 2 pretty quick, I would recommend just using the hints. It's easy and it'll ensure you the quicker time bonus. Nothing's more infuriating than taking so long that you end up just missing the score. I'm stubborn, I'll admit, I don't like using the hint boxes, but there's some times where I should have done it and it would have saved me so much time in the long run. With missions like Meteor Herd and Mad Space, I'd recommend if you don't end up finding the first emerald within the first 2 minutes to just restart. Those are one of the biggest levels and it's just hard to kind of find everything. You could still end up finishing the mission with 5 minutes and still get an A rank. Surprisingly, I've been there. But if you're at the 3-minute mark and still haven't found anything, I'd recommend just restarting the level. Hopefully with this information, you guys have enough to work with and can finally get the A ranks on those missions that you're having trouble with. If you ended up finding this video useful, please like and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching and have a great day.